4th of August, Friday, 11 minutes to 1 p.m. in the afternoon. Here's my latest video blog. Going to run through a couple of things. Going to do just a quick EOS update. I've got something that I found in a Telegram group that I just want to share with you, some information. Quick little article I came across on Bitcoin Cash and some things there for anyone that's interested in that just to be aware of. What else have I got? Got a little bit of news on the charts and some things that I can sort of see and feel that are happening. What else have I got? There's another particular entity that that's about to start and open up on a new platform, and I'm just going to run through that, and that's got to do with BlockNet. And so yeah, so a couple of things. So what I'm going to just start with is quick look at the charts. You know, charts are charts. But the thing is, I think since the 1st of August, now I feel like things are starting to settle down. You know, Bitcoin Cash is sort of settled, and a lot of the exchanges are now opening up their Bitcoin and Bitcoin Cash, so you can move the funds around and those certain things. So there's a little bit of that uncertainty is sort of starting to fade, and Bitcoin's starting to show a little bit of growth and stability, and it's been holding pretty strong throughout the whole period, which is great. There's a few coins that are definitely on the move, and you know, things like AntShares, Bitshares, just as I speak, really is, and even you won't even see it on this graph. I just checked in my portfolios. It looks a bit like a bit of a pump, but there's a lot of stuff happening with the billion-dollar hero or billion hero, and the Bitshares and a whole heap of things there, which I've covered in a previous video. So you never know, there might be some people getting involved in Bitshares over the next month. They're doing some marketing, and there's a lot of activity in that space. So go and have a look at it and do your research if that's something you want to do. But I'm not covering that today. Just letting you know that it looks like that, you know, August. I feel like August and September should be pretty positive for some of these coins that have been going horizontal, and we've had that big retracement. And I sort of feel like that it's pretty much over to a degree. You know, we've seen, you know, each coin will have its own ecosystem, there's no doubt. As a whole, in regards to the market cap, it's still very, very small, so some big money may come in and diversify across the board, so you will see, you know, a lot of coins get inflated for pretty much no real reason at all. I mean, if Bitcoin goes up, a lot of the time the prices and the value of each altcoin goes up because they are pegged together. A lot of people sort of forget that, but yeah, I think it's some positive signs, and you know, I'm not going to really run through each of these. You know, I don't want to speculate and give people prices and give anyone any energy towards a particular crypto without having any base information. You know, a graph is a graph. Just because it goes up doesn't mean anything. I mean, I'm excited for my own interest, because a lot of the things on this CoinGecko I'm pretty much watching or invested in. So it's always nice to get a feel for positive energy when you're investing. I generally don't buy or invest on the way up. You know, hopefully any smart investment would be that you've already done your homework and there's a certain period of time that you've been, I suppose, invested or relating to a particular investment, so you've got a bit of a feel for the ups and downs, and you know when to buy at relative bottoms. But I feel that we're at a fairly bottom point of the whole crypto space in regards to all this, like I said, the whole retracement. But again, we all have also seen an upward movement, so it's all, you've got to go and do your own feel for the markets, and I'm going to keep repeating just little things that I've learned. You know, you never look at the whole market from a daily or weekly point of view. You've got to look at and have an understanding of the fundamentals, but you've also got to really zoom out and look at the market cap, look at the entities from, you know, a monthly, bi-monthly period of time, so you get a feel for what's happening over an extended period of time. Crypto space moves very quickly, so in 30 months you can get a big swing, and I'm not talking about the daily stuff, I'm talking about the swing of a low to a high at an overall feeling for the particular entity based on what's happening in its ecosystem. So always expand out a little bit further than just what you see on the daily movements. So moving away from that, otherwise I'll just ramble. EOS. Yes, I am invested in EOS. I like EOS for a lot of reasons, but it's only because it's so interesting. And I am in the Telegram groups and I am in Steem, and there's so much information coming out, and they do talk about what they're going to deliver. There's a lot of people speculating about tokens being of no value. I mean, you could say that about all of them. You can say the whole cryptocurrency space. I mean, I'm not holding any tokens in my hand, so what's it really worth? Not much at all. I mean, there's concepts, there's ideas, and there's value based in the distribution of tokens. And I think that's the real big thing, is people need to understand the value is held within the confidence and the community and the distribution of tokens as a whole. So if 100 million people are holding 100 million tokens, that is where the value is, because there's faith and understanding and confidence in a particular entity, and that can go towards fiat currency. Same philosophy for stock markets and bonds and anything really. I mean, that's pretty much what it's about. It's about an emotional attachment or a connection with what you've invested in. Otherwise, everything's worth nothing, and that's the basis. And it's a subjective perspective, really. It's up to you to work out what you deem has value and go after that. I mean, that's what intelligent investing is all about. And I think getting an understanding of this crypto space is that you're investing in a community, you're investing in the token and the distribution of that token. So looking at EOS, I'm just going to give a quick review. We're into, I haven't done it for a while, week 36, or plus the period 0, so it's probably number 37 really, plus the 5 days at the beginning. But yesterday went for $1.37 US, so it's still hanging between that $1.37 and $2. It hasn't been over $2 for quite some time. Hasn't been under $1 since the first 5 days. So, but 137, we had a 118 pretty much when the whole market was collapsing. I think it was not collapsing, but it was on a big retrace. And I think that was around the August 1st. There was no surprises there. Everyone had no idea what was going on. Was probably moving their funds into Bitcoin and things like that. So we're still another 300 days away from the end of this. Look at all these placements down this chart. So if you are interested in getting into EOS, do your research. Don't just take it on face value of what people say on internet. Go and get into the Telegram and talk to Dan Laramie yourself if you want to. I mean, this guy is one of the big boys in the whole crypto space. He developed Bitshares and Steem, and I have mentioned this before. He's got a history, and I think he's a genius. He seems like a good guy. He's very level-headed and says a lot of intelligent things. So again, you've got to go and do the legwork and go and find out the information. I see a lot of, I think, let's say blanket regurgitation of information. People throw around the word scam, they throw around ideologies around ICOs. They think they're all just, you're an idiot if you get into an ICO. So does that make me an idiot for investing into some of these ICOs? I don't think so. Some of them have paid off really well, but I'm not really worried about whether or not an ICO halves in value when it hits a particular exchange. There has been some specific dynamics, and the market will always make a judgment on a particular entity at that moment. When the market goes up and down, we've seen that. Same with Bitcoin and BCH, and so I think ICOs have value. But again, you've got to go and you have to have an understanding of what you're investing in. So whether that's the idea itself or an actual platform or a product or a concept, then these things you have to determine for yourself. I'm very happy with what I've invested in, and so I think what we've got to be mindful of is let's not just, but don't be one of those people that go around just saying it's a scam, following the crowd. I think there's too much of that in this world. You've got to be a free thinker. You've got to think for yourself, in particular to pretty much everything. Get away from this blanket understanding. It's very easy to go with the crowd because you don't want to be subjected to scrutiny and things like that. I mean, I've always gone across the grain. It's just who I am. I've always thought for myself. I say things how I always express how I feel, and I think that's the best way to go. And I'd hope that that type of attitude and energy is something that we can share and spread around. But where am I going with all this? Again, just EOS. Go and do research. So next thing was Bitcoin Cash. Now, a lot of stuff going around with Bitcoin Cash. I had some friends in some Facebook groups jump on in there and say, quick, get on to Bitcoin Cash. The price is skyrocketing. You know, it was up at, I think it's 388 at the moment. It's been 500, 900, 700. It's gone all over the shop. And it has had its relative prices in some of the exchanges as well. So, you know, the main thing, I'm not invested in Bitcoin Cash. I didn't deliberately go and liquidate my alts and get Bitcoin and try to get a 1-for-1. I didn't do any of that. Didn't interest me. The reason why I'm not interested in Bitcoin Cash is just pretty much because of it doesn't have the same community and the direction and fundamentals of some of the altcoins that have particular products and are presenting or giving or have a direction where they're creating real use and things like that. But I think you'll already find, and there's a good little article on Cointelegraph about the fact that it's really lacking some hash rate, and they're going to, once the exchanges open up Bitcoin to be able to, for deposits and withdrawals and things like that, you're going to find that it's going to take quite a long time for the transactions to confirm, and there may be some other major issues with it, and that doesn't really excite me too much. I mean, how many years and how long is it going to take for Bitcoin Cash to get the community, especially with mining, in the future? And it may not happen. That's why there's been a lot of paid entities, I believe, pushing Bitcoin Cash on Facebook and things. Some of the particular news outlets have been going, go Bitcoin Cash, and that's probably because they're probably paid positions, because they're looking for more miners, because they need it. Otherwise they're going to really find that the mining difficulty is going to be really holding back on its success down the future. So there is this article here. 2 days after the chain split that resulted in the launch of Bitcoin Cash, the fledgling coin is quite in an unusual position. The Bitcoin Cash network is almost non-functional due to extremely slow block times inherited as a result of Bitcoin's mining difficulty at the time of the fork. The token itself is quite valuable, trading for over 400, but only for a small fraction of the people who own them. I mean, do you remember this space is really small? There were some people with lots of Bitcoin, some people with lots of money. There were actually some celebrities and things involved who injected a lot of money, and there was some marketing influences that created some hype. These guys have probably got ability to control more of the entire market of BCH, and that was the whole reason why it was forked, because some of the mining groups would have benefited from the fork because they got all these free coins, and they've been able to create a real nice big bubble of well, it's profit if they sell. I mean, obviously there's value there for them, but for the normal person like me who might have a fraction of a coin, I'm not going to get much value from getting into it. I mean, it may be something that I want to do down the track. At this stage, it sort of scares me too much because it doesn't have. I just can't. Where's it going? I mean, that's where I'm a bit worried about it. I'm not worried about it. It's just something that I don't really want to get involved with yet, based on these particular issues. And you can go and read this particular article. There's certain exchanges that are supporting it. However, you may find that at some stage down the track, there's going to be more negative stuff for BCH than positive, unless they really get some massive mining support. So, and there'll be fluctuations like anything, especially when you've got people who own more of the coin than the normal user. So that's all I wanted to share with that Bitcoin Cash. There was another little thing. So this is just news. Blocknet. Now, from what I understand, Blocknet's is a decentralized exchange, and they've got a nice, pretty fancy website. I have sort of looked at it before, but it sort of escaped my attention for a long time. And apparently the platform's going to be launched in the next few days. Am I invested in it? No. Am I going to invest in it? Probably not, because I don't have the funds for it at the moment, and I think it's sitting around about 14 Australian dollars. However, I think it may be of value to other people, some people watching this. I have seen a very nice sort of healthy organic growth on Bittrex, and I've just been watching it over the last couple of days, and it looks nice and steady. And I think there'll be this You know, it might be one of those scenarios where you see a couple of days growth before the platform. So it could be buy on the rumour, sell on the news type of scenario. So you've got to be mindful about that as well. But from a long-term point of view, it might be something worth looking into and go and do your research if that's what you wanted to do. So yeah, main premise of that, they're opening up their exchange in the next couple of days is the GOS. What else have I got across the top here? Ether Delta, I'm not going to cover that. It's just a couple of random coins I found on there that are trading, and I think one of them was like Pillar that I'm invested in. It's a bit cheaper than what it was on the ICO, and again, it doesn't make it a scam or anything like that. That's just the market value at this time. So if you are interested in Pillar and you missed out on the ICO, you can go and get some. And I might improve my position, but it's just one of those things. And there are some cool videos on YouTube. They're updating and they're talking to the community. I like that type of stuff. But again, I'm not shilling Pillar. I'm just expressing information, you know, and that's just stuff that I see on a daily basis, and I may as well share that with you guys. The other thing I wanted to do, yes, is I got this little bit of news from a Telegram. Now I wanted to take a screenshot of it, but it was a little bit big, so what I'm going to do is read it out. It's on my phone. Now it's got to do with EOS in regards to the token, and some people have been talking about the token not having any value and what's it for, you know, what is EOS, and really it comes back to the fact that these people haven't done their research, they haven't read the white paper, they don't actually understand how it's going to support decentralized applications, how the token's going to relate to that in regards to the value of the platform based on the distribution of the token, as I was mentioning earlier. So what I wanted to do is just read this out. The existing EOS ERC20 token creates a distribution list that the public can use to launch and distribute an EOS blockchain and community. It does not warrant or promise anything. It shows probable contribution for each token. The product is the broad, provable, equitable distribution. That is what the product is. It's the community. The value is in the distribution of the token, which creates the confidence and support and faith in the product. Anyone can replicate any public blockchain in a few hours. The quality of the community and companies that adopt the chain is what determines network value. At the end of the distribution, the first live version of the software will be published with an open source license. At the moment, there is hundreds of millions of vested interest in this distribution list, and it continues to grow daily, and we expect the public to do great things with it. ETH and BTC are collecting by far the majority of resources today. They are in fact the largest continuous ICO. They use the 4 to 5 billion they collect annually to burn more electricity than small countries. This is used to process less than 25 transactions per second in aggregate. This is costing token holders more than $6 per transaction before additional fees. We firmly believe that the industry cannot continue to grow if the resources given to us continue to be nearly completely wasted. EOS is changing this scenario. The EOS virtual mining token sale recaptures value where others have burnt it, while preserving the proven effective distribution economics of proof of work. In EOS, the 4 to 5 billion of burnt capital would be budgeted by token holders in any way they felt created the most network value. Block.one will be announcing some of its first investments into the EOS ecosystem very soon, and we will begin to feel the first effects of more efficient capital deployment. We're working 24/7 and delivering information as fast as possible. EOS is finalising an engagement with a third-party auditor to release a public audit designed to provide comfort that Block.one has not participated in the EOS token sale in any way with any funds, which is, I think that's a very respectable thing to do, because some people have questioned why in the last hour or last 10 minutes, $2 million seems to hit the account. And that's just someone who really believes in the platform, I believe, and they've got their money set aside for the next 300 days. That's what it seems to be. So there's going to be an audit. Block.one has already sold the majority of the ETH taken in from the ERC20 token sale and will not be stockpiling the ETH it is raising from the sale. It is important to remember that order books are a zero-sum game, and for all the sell demand created from Block.one, sells ETH, equivalent ETH sells ETH, equivalent ETH by demand was created through our token sale. Therefore, the general decline of the ETH network is not related to our token sale. ETH standing on its own. There's so many more tokens available than what EOS are collecting. So it's a minute amount, really. EOS is a true centralized network that has 100% alignment of interests between beneficiaries and decision makers. Once the blockchain is launched, it has no dependency on any one company, foundation, or individual. Decentralization. We understand the Block.1's token sale is a new structure. Our internal and external counsel worked hard on structuring it in a way that made the network truly independent and compliant on all fronts. Our lawyers were in communication with the SEC prior to issuing formal opinions. We choose to exclude the USA only because of local regulation that exists in places like NYC and Washington, not because of any concerns over the security status of the EOS ERC20 token. We appreciate the healthy skepticism and will always do our best to clarify misunderstandings. EOS is comprised of a robust community and backed by many of the biggest influencers. That was I'm not sure if that was Dan Larimer who posted that, but I got it out of the EOS official Telegram. So and it was supported in there. So there's some good news there for EOS. But again, when it comes to making any investments, you're on your own. And that's what I keep saying is, we're all in this together, but all we can do is talk about stuff, share things, go and do our research, make personal decisions. And that's why I'm really liking about doing all of these videos and getting people making some responses on the YouTube and on my Steem and adding value to all that I'm doing. And I really appreciate that. Intelligent conversations is pretty much what this is about. I'm going to keep suggesting that, trying to create some repeated behaviour, because I did have something penciled down. I'm not going to get involved in this too much because there has been some YouTube wars with some reputable YouTubers. I did have a quick look at it, but it's just a bit mind-blowing that there's a lot of immaturity in regards to this whole cryptocurrency space, and in regards to investments and suggestive selling and all that type of stuff. I mean, if you can't make a decision on your own for your own investment, you've got some work to do. And I go and get the information and then I make a decision. If I invest in something and it's the wrong call, you can't blame anyone else. You can't go and blame a YouTuber. You can't blame your broker. There's obviously relationships and faith, but all you want is just transparent information. You write down your points and notes, things that you want to go and look at and research, and then go and verify that for yourself. And that's what this is about. If you're just going to throw money at something and then things go wrong and you want to go and pull the dagger out and then have YouTube war between people, it's pretty silly. And I see that in the comments too. And we see that it could be a human nature thing. I'm not sure. I think it's probably taught and something that we could probably all work on. And I think what we should do is we should try to diffuse that type of energy and bring in some more wise, language and get people, pull people's heads in. I think that's what this should be about. Don't get onto a side. There's too much division across the world as we speak. We need to get a little bit more unity, but I'm not going to keep on talking about that. But I think it's valid. But that's all I had, was that. I wanted to share all of that stuff. I think that's enough. So that's my little EOS review and Bitcoin Cash and whatnot. But keep your eye on the charts. Could be a good month. Keep stacking if that's what you want to do. If you don't want to get into the crypto space, good on you. There's so many more other investments, but I do believe that cryptocurrencies are going to change a lot of people's lives if they're bold enough over the next 2 years. All right, thanks for watching, guys. Contribute on my YouTube and on Steem. Talk to you soon.